Hello viewers, welcome to the space. Today we are here to have a conversation with one of the most learned person in Arunachal Pradesh. He is none other than our first Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh, Shri P.K. Thungon. We are here at his lovely residence. Thank you so much for joining with us, sir. How are you feeling today?
Very fine.
So, sir, you were recently felicitated, day before yesterday, you were felicitated with for Pradesh Council member. How are you feeling about that?
It's very nice of the present government, particularly. I will thank the Chief Minister of organizing such a meeting. Because by doing such meetings and conferences and get together and giving awards, the people, those who have rendered their services, they'll feel satisfied, honored. At the same time, the younger generation will come to know that if they do some service to the people, people remember it, government remembers it. That's why I'm happy. I'm very happy.
Sir, you were conferred with the position of Chief Minister at the age of 29, if I'm not wrong, one of the youngest. So, how was that moment for you? Were you aware of that? I mean, how was the situation?
That was a great movement for me. At the same time, that was the movement along with the honor offered on Chief Ministership. I was given the responsibility for serving the people of the state in particular and for the country and people of country in general. So, I used to feel at that time, I've been given this responsibility. I must try to do my best to meet the expectations of my people of Arunachal Pradesh and people of India. That was my feeling at that time. I was exhilarated. At the same time, used to bow with respect to the people and feeling of responsibility to serve for them.
Sir, what if you were to narrow down? Obviously, you were the first Chief Minister, and I mean Arunachal at that time बहुत young था, right? One of the most difficult, the challenge that you had to face right at that moment, what would be that one?
My first responsibility I felt was to keep the people united. Arunachal belongs to so many tribes, so many different culture and backgrounds. So my priority was not to create gaps between the people or tribes, but to narrow down if there is any gap and keep them united. That was my first priority. After that, my priority at that time I thought was, it is the peace which is the prerogative of the development. Second priority, there are so many priorities. Everything was priority. But for development, I thought that if people are not united to work together, only one or two people can't solve the problems. So that is my philosophy, how to start to work for the people.
So how was the coordination between you and the central government right at that time?
At that time, Srimati Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister. I have great respect for her. She was a great Prime Minister. She not only used to treat me as a Chief Minister, but one of his child. So, I had that kind of relation with Indraji, and in every respect she used to guide me, politically, administratively, culturally, what development should take place in Arunachal Pradesh. So I had very good relation, the Indian central government and the Prime Minister. As Chief Minister, I was lucky.
So, if you were to say now the political situation from then to now have evolved totally, right? What differences you find in today's political leaders and then political leader, like with your colleagues and now the ruling party? What differences do you see?
Basically, there is no difference.
How can you elaborate more on that? Sounds interesting.
Because all are committed for the development of the state. Without the commitment of developing the state or the people of respective constituencies, people will not elect you. That is the basic commonality amongst the leaders of that time and now. Other aspects are, ancillary aspects, you can say.
That's a very new vocabulary for me.
Ancillary aspects.
Yeah.
Means help us sort of thing. Ancillary aspects. Minor aspects there. Minor things. Not the basic thing. Those keep on changing along with the time. Now, we used to work for campaigning. At that time, the style was different.
Yeah.
People's mood was different. Now people go by helicopter, by road, cars. During our time, car was not possible in the beginning.
Yeah.
Actually, I am satisfied that what we had imagined at that time, envisioned that we should have good roads, good communication, and kind of sincere sort of approach. Those have come up to a great extent. Now roads are good, the communication, other communication are good. So today when an MLA Saab goes for a campaign, in most of the places they will go by car or a vehicle and address his constituency. In our times, in the beginning, we had to walk miles and miles to address villagers, and every village used to invite and felt honored that someone has come to ask us our vote so respectfully and so sincerely, so they used to honor us. Now today also they honor, but there may be some sort of difference in approaches. For example, along with the development of economic development of the state, some people have learned to be greedy, more greedy. Some people have learned to more, chalak.
Basically, you are saying in there is corruption involved, right?
And then that is why I've said there are so many ancillary things also. But it is the duty of ours to go through those and serve. Main purpose is to serve the people.
So our state have, walked through a long journey. We just celebrated our 50 years, right? If you were to see one changes, right? Did you expected Arunachal Abhi jaisa hai, the situation, right? The developments you're talking about. Have you ever fathomed at that time ki aisa hoga Arunachal?
That's why I say I am one of the happiest persons in Arunachal Pradesh. I am not a negative person. I am not pessimist.
Really?
I always think positively. At that time, what we imagined, rather what I imagined at that time, and what I had planned, and used to talk in seminars, conferences, meetings, political addresses, those are coming through in the field. That is why I am satisfied person to great extent. You know, at that time, what I used to say in various meetings, if you find, dig out my speeches, if available, you will find. हमारा बच्चे पढ़ लिखना चाहिए, डॉक्टर बनना चाहिए, इंजीनियर बनना चाहिए, ऑफिसर बनना चाहिए और कॉन्ट्रैक्टर बनना चाहिए, धनी बनना चाहिए, संपन्न बनना चाहिए. Today you see these are happening on the field. At that time we had no doctors, qualified doctors from Arunachal Pradesh, no engineers, and no very rich people, no crorepati, maybe hajarpati at that time, but no crorepati also. And not very many active social workers. So we used to imagine that our state should become such that full of doctors, full of engineers, full of administrative officers and rich people. Means Arunachal Pradesh should become rich in all respect. These are coming true to a great extent. Today, we have more doctors than we have posts in various government. I'm talking about governmental posts. More engineers than what number of posts we have in governmental posts in Arunachal Pradesh. In the beginning, it was very difficult to find out a circle officer from Arunachal Pradesh. I was first or second batch of circle officers. At that time, we were very few. Now, today there is such a situation where so many boys and girls are competing, becoming circle officers, ESCs and administrative officers and IS officers. That's why I say I am one of the happiest persons in Arunachal Pradesh, because what I imagined at that time is gradually coming through.
Yeah, a learned society, what else do we expect, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Very valuable.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, educated and well-learned people are assets of the people, society and country.
Yeah. So, sir, you have seen many CM, Chief Minister, come and go, right?
Yeah.
So, if you were to say if one of the CM that you cherish a lot, their work in general, which one would?
I appreciate all of them. They have tried to put their effort to develop this state according to their capabilities. There are certain things which some people can work for 18 hours. There are certain things some people can't work for 18 hours. That's a different matter. But see the spirit. They have all tried to put their all efforts. May not be correctly or very correctly, right or wrong. They put their all efforts. As I had put my efforts at that time. Some may not have satisfied with me, But then effort was there. And the same effort was put by all the chief ministers, so far as I know, because all of them are my juniors. I can say with certainty that many of them were chief ministers with my assistants who had taken my assistance. Therefore, all of them are my men. So what I did, they tried to do, if not better, then at least what I did. That is why I'm happy that they have tried their level best. So far as present Chief Minister is concerned, he is doing quite well.
Pema Khandu, sir.
Pema Khandu is also doing quite well as his predecessors. But the way he is performing is quite appropriate at this juncture of the state. Because sometimes some work is done much earlier than required. Sometimes work is done much later than it was required to be done. But he is appropriately doing so well. He is from BJP. I am from Congress. I don't differentiate so far as service to the Arunachal Pradesh is concerned, whether BJP or Congress. If they give up, he or she, whoever be the chief minister, gives proper service to and to the state and proper performance also.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're quite content with how Pema Khandu sir is working right now, is it? Yeah. So sir, but at the same time, there has been so many stories of, money laundering and corruptions in the political arena. So what would be your view on that?
Do you know I was charged by CBI?
Yes, we are aware of it, sir.
In 9-10 cases, I have fought CBI case for continuously 22 years. And still vestiges are there. What I want to, so as your question is concerned, what I want to say is, if one performs, then there may be some mistakes also. And if one does not perform, what mistake will be done? If one is working, a working person can only commit some mistakes. If one does not work at all, what mistake he can commit? I am talking to you. My words may be sometimes, inappropriate and sometimes very appropriate. Because I am talking, that is why you come to know. If I don't talk at all, you will not come to know that whether I am talking here good words or bad words.
Yeah.
So likewise, in political arena, when one is there, you have opposition also. You have your own party also, your own followers, opposition's followers. Some mud will be slinging on you. Unnecessarily also. I don't say all are unnecessary. Unnecessarily also. So likewise, in my case, these 10 cases, 11, 12 cases, how I am on outside, why I am not hanged? Because we have a judiciary. They take time, no doubt. That I feel, which is very painful. But then, ultimately they prove. And they proved in my case, that is my own experience, that yes, I have not, Thungon has done nothing wrong. He has served people. Even some remarks were there from the comments were there from the judges. The Thungon Sahab, आप तो बहुत अच्छा आदमी है. So this kind of remarks were there. But then I was put in problem. My 22 years, 23 years can't be given back neither by judiciary, nor by executive, nor by parliament. Parliament was legislature. So it happens. Some are true, some are wrong. But people come to know that later, judiciary proves it later on. That is why in between that time, the concerned working man who is sincere, who is badmash, I don't support, who is sincere, they suffer. So that is why, this is my feeling, that Shabash, somebody should work. If he climbs, he will sleep also sometimes. Doesn't matter. But he should reach the top. He should cross the mountain. Likewise, the political leaders at the helms of the affairs will have to work, may commit also somewhere something wrong, but overall that serving to the state, serving to the people, that commitment is there or not, one has to judge that. If they are fighting for overall good, I think everybody is corrupt. If you say,
That's quite
what is corrupt? Everybody is corrupt. I am now 75 years old.
Yeah.
I have fought these cases, CBI case, for last 22 years continuously. And I have attended, personally stood before judges for how many hours? More than 85 hours personally stood. Means how many months and years I stood before judges. But then ultimately, I got a good result.
Patience paid it all.
Paid it all, but my time is gone.
Yeah. That's quite a journey you had, sir.
Eh?
That's quite an interesting journey you went
Yes, because that is why I feel. Well, I might have satisfied many people, might not have satisfied many people. Grievances might be there, some are satisfied. And that is why, as a result of my working left and right, fourth state fort, that is why probably some people are not satisfied. But ultimately, judiciary found that he was doing his duty. So that is why sometimes when a person who is performing, he commits some unknowing mistakes also. And we will have to see that overall, that performance is good for the people, or good for the country, and good for the state. So that is all right.
Yeah.
If he gives service, you are asking for a taxi or a hotel reservation. Okay. Naturally, at that time, some may claim that for that service you give us 100 rupees, some may claim 1,000 rupees. So how to judge which is right or which is wrong? So corruption is everywhere. Even at home. It does not mean that we should commit corruption. But if you want to charge for the purpose of political reason, You can find anybody that he is corrupt. You can give any example. For example, for small thing, I give you an example. Your child doesn't go to school. You bring a chocolate. You go to school. I will give you this chocolate. The child takes chocolate and goes. Is that not a bribe? If you want to interpret and put somebody in jeopardy, in this way, so many things can be done. So one's mind has to be positive. What I mean is, corruption charges may be leveled on anybody. I say that corruption charges are leveled somebody, FIR is filed, and one is not allowed to file the nomination. These are certain things which is very complicated. Not even other people, some deciding people, even a boss, can't clearly say. For example, if my opponent wants to stop me from filing the nomination, he will ask one of his chelas, go and file it by FIR in this gentleman's, that judges or magistrate's court, and magistrate will again pass on certain orders. Magistrate may be his chela or someone or judge, but means by the time you are out from that rigmarole, election commission will not extend his nomination date. So you are out. So these are certain rigmaroles. So everyone has to understand in the country. Easily we say, he has judicial case. He cannot fight. Many cases, it may be right. But there are many cases where such manipulation can take place. If such manipulation has taken place, who will take care? Election is over. So that is why one has to be very careful. And people have to understand, educate ourselves. So these are the things which we will have to understand. It's very complicated.
Extremely complicated.
It's very complicated. Now a person can say straight way, देर उसका तो केस है, वो नॉमिनेशन फाइल कैसे कर दिया? चलो रुको उसको, कहाँ है ये केस? बोले मैजिस्ट्रेट के पास है, या डीसी ऑफिस में है, या ईएसी ऑफिस में है. Was he convicted? तो फाइंड आउट. कन्विक्ट अगर नहीं भी किया हो तब भी वो इलेक्शन लड़ने से उसको लोग बदनाम है हरा देगा. एक तो ये है. दूसरा, जो ओपोनेंट्स क्या करेगा, मैनिपुलेट करके कन्विक्शन भी कर सकता है. तो ही इज आउट. इंदिरा गांधी के केस में ऐसे हुआ था. नो तो टॉक अबाउट स्मॉल, ये हम लोग का स्मॉल फ्राइज है, तो चलता रहता है, कुछ न कुछ खींचता नहीं. थिंक अबाउट इंदिरा गांधी, ऑफ द स्टेचर ऑफ इंदिरा गांधी, उसको डिस्क्वालीफाई कर दिया था. और बाद में वो फिर प्राइम मिनिस्टर बन गया, क्योंकि इम्प्रूव हो गया था. झूठ मूठ में वो उसको हराने के लिए ये किया था. मैंने उनको करने के लिए, डिस्क्वालीफाई करने के लिए गया था. So that is what our people have to understand is very deeply, because those people who are manipulative, they do not have this kind of upper hand.
Yeah.
Those who can really serve the people, to keep them away, is a very unfortunate thing. Now, for example, I have for this case for last 22, 23 years. Now, because of the blessings of the people, I was elected. Because of the blessings of people, Arunachal people, I was Chief Minister. Because of the people of India, I was cabinet, Central Minister.
Yeah, you served there.
MOS, I served there. I got a lot of training how to run the country and how to behave in international arena. So, lot of money has been spent by Government of India, by the nation, by Arunachal people, by Indian people, on me, by paying as salary, as Chief Minister, as MLA, as Councillor, as MP, as as Central Minister.
Yeah.
Lot of money has been paid to me by the people of India, by this nation. So, by paying that money, while performing, I was trained also. But when I am trained fully, if some certain this CBI case sort of thing was put, and I was not allowed to render my services for my nation, is it not a loss?
It's quite an interesting analogy that you have given, the spending money on pilot, and quite a very interesting analogy and comparison, right? So we are at the tail end of our conversation. One message to the public and the viewers out there, any message would be great.
Arunachal is situated in a border area. The greatest enemy, if one consider, power-wise, resource-wise, of India is China. Right. Now, we the people of Arunachal Pradesh are patriots right from the beginning. Not many in India you will find, if you go and greet in a village, saying Jai Hind. But go to Arunachal Pradesh, even a small boy or old man always say, Jai Hind Sahab, Jai Hind brother. Means we are patriots. We are standing as sentinels of India in Chinese border. My message to people of Arunachal Pradesh will be, please keep up. Be patriot. Work sincerely. And democracy is the main and most convenient and beautiful system of governance. And we have democracy. In China, there is no democracy. It's one party democracy, they say, but it's autocracy. So, our people, Arunachal Pradesh people, have been understanding it. But I want to further stress that we should keep this in mind. Otherwise, our enemy may create problem. From time to time, they are even abducting our people, young people. Recently also they abducted a few boys from that area, Tuting area. So we should not lose heart. We should remain patriot. We should remain such patriots as sentinels of the country. And to do that, we have to be sincere. We have to be forward-looking. And blame game. He is doing this, he is doing that, will not serve the purpose. We should unite and unitedly develop our state, and then everyone will cooperate. Then if everyone cooperates, then we will be one of the best states. And also, even now also, by emotion-wise, we are one of the most patriotic and best, one of the best states in India. Maybe right from political leaders, ministers, right up to village level. This we must keep in mind. Because if they create problem, our development will be hampered. Our unity will be hampered. So this is one of the reasons why we have to keep attention towards that. We must keep away the troubleshooters from across the border.
Thank you so much, sir. It's
My
such an honor to have a conversation with you. Such an insight that I got from you, right? Thank you, viewers. Thank you so much for joining with us. I hope you enjoyed the conversation with the first Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh, P.K. Thungon. Thank you so much.